Guardians of the Galaxy is directed by James Gunn, stars Chris Pratt, not Chris Evans, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista himself, the voices of Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel. Once again, welcome to my Marvel film series. We are very close to Avengers Infinity War, but let's keep going with Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, so a brash, super cool adventurer named Peter Quill, also known as Star-Lord, finds himself inside as the quarry of a bunch of bounty hunters after stealing a powerful orb from the villainous Ronan. And now he is forced to join in a truce with 4 other misfits: a gun-toting Rocket Raccoon, a tree-like Groot, the daughter of Thanos named Gamora, and a vengeful, driven Drax the Destroyer. So together they form the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so they must save the galaxy. Marvel took a huge risk. All that build-up, all that timeline, all those films, and now we have Guardians of the Galaxy. No one has even heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. We all heard of Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk. Thor is now even more known, and now we have the Guardians. And this was a massive risk because no one knew about them. No one knew about them. And you see films like this. You know, you have a group of people, and you have this massive, powerful object, and everyone's trying to go for it. And then we have explosions and action sequences, and it's just like that. But I have never seen anything like this. The way it's shown in this film, wow. It was early 2014, and I went to see a film. I think it was probably The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That's awful. That's awful. No, just go away. So I went to see that, and I was watching the previews, and they showed Guardians of the Galaxy, the trailer for it. And I was watching it, and I was like, what the hell is this film? Marvel, what are you doing? Who are these characters? Bautista, like what? He's a wrestler, like what's going on? And I was laughing a lot because I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be a terrible film. Please forgive me, Marvel, because I was completely wrong. This film is freaking awesome. It was everything that I wanted it to be. I love it. This is a comedy, by far the funniest Marvel film that I have seen so far. But it was so risky, and I have so much respect to the filmmakers. They literally were just like, this is awful, this is awful, this is just a bit cringy, but then they were just like, wow, like this is actually different. It's unique, and it's something that we've never done before. Let's do it. They honestly did not care. They just went for it, and it worked so beautifully because this film is just Chris Pratt is just fantastic. Not only is he funny, but he has so much heart in his character. The first scene is just gut-wrenching. It literally just pummels you down. You see this little kid, and it's just, I don't want to give anything away because you guys, you have seen this film. I know everyone's seen this film, but obviously there are some that have not seen it. I'm not going to give anything away, but you have to go see it because the first scene is just, it's so gut-wrenching. There's so much heart in it. The emotional depth in this film, I will get to in a sec. But let's head on to Zoe Saldana's Gamora. This person is just so cool. What a character. I mean, if they actually made a spin-off film dedicated to her character, I would love it because there is so much character development, and it's just very surprising. Speaking of surprising, Bautista, wow, literally, I mean, what a character. I loved this guy. Drax the Destroyer is brutal in this film. He's so funny as well. He is like a psychotic, funny person.
Completely literal. Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
And Bautista, honestly, he nailed this character. I mean, I am a huge wrestling fan, and I used to watch him all the time in wrestling. And I always pinpoint, I always picked out who the people wouldn't be as great in acting. And he was one of the people in the list. And I was like, he's, you know, he's okay, but not that great for acting. He proved us wrong. He proved me completely wrong. This guy is fantastic in this film. I really enjoyed watching him on screen. Groot is very likable. Vin Diesel says 3 words in this film, just 3 words, and every time I hear "I am Groot" is just beautiful. I get so happy when I actually hear him say it. It's just so great. And last but not least, Rocket the Raccoon. Honestly, this guy could have pummeled this film to the ground. He could have just ruined everything. He could have just... everything was on his shoulders. The weight of the film was on his shoulders. He could have ruined everything. Did he? No. He was the best thing about this film. Bradley Cooper, hats off to you, because you absolutely just did amazing voice work. The CGI for his character is just freaking amazing. You can't even... you see that the creature's actually real. The emotional depth in this film, I just can't explain how it meant to me. I feel like when you talk about the emotional depth, because I want to talk about it as if it's like a whole circle, round and round and round. And in order for me to talk about the emotional depth in this film, I have to talk about the soundtrack. The soundtrack, it's a masterpiece. Yes, you've heard it all the time. I know you've heard it because it's one of the best-selling soundtracks still to this day. Despite Volume 2 being released, people love this soundtrack. It's flawless. But I hear it all the time. Oh yeah, I love the soundtrack. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, great. But the thing is, it's more to it than that. People actually miss out why it's so amazing. And it's because it's all linked to emotional depth. Every time I listen to the soundtrack, I think of these characters. I think of Star-Lord's mother, especially, because the soundtrack is almost like a symbol for a Kesed that Star-Lord keeps, because he listens to his music given to him by his mother. And that is where the heart of the film just blew me away. It's all like a round circle. And if you get to the ending of the film, it is perfect. It all makes sense. You guys know what I'm talking about. The soundtrack just did it for me, because it all came together. It all just made sense by the end of the film. And the score, oh my god, Tyler Bates, you did a great job with the score, especially the ending scene. You guys know which scene I'm talking about, right at the climax. I almost teared up. The first scene as well was just gut-wrenching, but unfortunately there is a massive flaw with this film, and that's the villain. Ronan is an angry villain. He is a bad guy. He's just a bad guy. Nothing else. That's it. He's always angry. He's always that typical villain that it's just really did not do much for me. I was not that invested in his character. That's all. If they made Ronan's character bizarre and funny and ridiculous as the Guardians, then I would have loved it. I would have dug it, honestly. But because of that, he is the polar opposite of the Guardians. He's just not to be taken seriously, despite him being very serious in most of the film. So because of that, it was quite disappointing. But regardless of that, I love this film. It's a fantastically made film. It's very different to what we've seen from Marvel. It is definitely the most entertaining film of Marvel that they have ever put out. The visual effects is stellar work. I love this film. I'm going to give Guardians of the Galaxy 4.5 out of 5 stars. Check it out. I know most people have seen it, but the people who have not, you're missing out. Subscribe for more. The next film will be the Avengers: Age of Ultron. And I have some words to say about that. I have a lot to say about that. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys very soon. Subscribe, and have a nice day.